Okay, so I just wanted to share something that's been on my mind the past few days. I'm not exactly sure. This is not a live video, of course, and I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to share it on social media, but I just wanted to share a little bit of what's been on my mind the past few days. As a result of us being towards the end of another year, and now we see people talking about 2017 is going to be my year. I can't wait for 2016 to end. I'm ready for it to happen. I'm ready for my increase in 2017. 2017 is going to be great, and all these different things, and I've been thinking about it, and just wondering, I've said it myself a lot, over the years. I can't wait for the year to be over. This year's been a rough year. It's been blah, blah, blah. But in thinking about it, the actuality is that it's not 2016's fault that whatever happened to me in 2016 happened. In fact, most of the things that I went through this year was a direct result of my choices and my actions. It had nothing to do with 2016. And my increase, my blessing, and my better days have nothing to do with 2017. What I'm determined to do is, from this day on, this point on, is to make better choices, to make better decisions, to use wisdom in all things. And not only use wisdom, but to allow myself to be led by God in all of my choices, because a lot of times, if we be real about it, we don't listen to that voice. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that something that told me blah blah blah, but we don't do it. We know that something most of the time is the voice of God, because we end up doing the opposite of what that something told us, but we end up regretting it. So it's not about the year, it's not about the calendar, it's not about anything. The key is to recognize and acknowledge your misstep, acknowledge where you made the mistake, acknowledge the fact that you made a mistake, period. Acknowledge where you made the mistake and do what you can to fix it, and not make that mistake again, to learn from it, to never make that mistake again. And that's something I've been thinking about. I haven't really shared it with anybody, haven't had a discussion with anybody, because I know that, just like everybody else, at the end of every year, if whatever the last thing that happened within that year, it makes me want the rest of the year to be over so I can get to the new year. If the new year doesn't bring a new you, if it doesn't bring a new way of thinking, a way of doing things contrary to the way that you are used to doing things, you're going to see the same things in next year that you saw in the following year. So a lot of times, we even on Facebook we joke, leave it in 2016, leave it in 2015. The problem is we've been bringing all of our foolishness and all of our mess into the next year. And it's not about, and a lot of times we look at some of the little minor things and some of the minute things that really don't even matter, that are really irrelevant. But what we're refusing to admit is there are things about ourselves that need to be changed. And we're unwilling to change those things because we don't want to be challenged. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be corrected. We don't want to be rebuked. But the truth of the matter is that very thing that you're unwilling to yield and unwilling to give up and unwilling to correct is the same thing that keeps dragging you down every single calendar year. And let me let you in on a secret, is that God is not moved by calendars. He's not moved by calendars, days of the week, and all that type of stuff. But he is moved by a submitted will, a submitted heart, and a submitted vessel. Somebody who's willing to follow his leading, follow his guiding. So just wanted to share that. This is actually a little bit longer than I thought it would be. This is over 5. No, it's actually, it's been over. Yeah, it's over 5 minutes now. But I thought it would be maybe 60 seconds or something. But just something to think about. It's something I've been thinking about. As I always say, you ain't got to take my word for it. You can either take it to heart and and use it as motivation to move forward, or you can just stop the video and never think about it again. It's your choice. I'm not trying to force my idea on anybody, but if this helps somebody, then all glory to God. Have a great one.